Perfect. Angela, this is everyone, almost everyone. If everybody just wants to take a sec and introduce yourselves and how long you've been in real estate, I think that'd be a great place to start.
My name is Amy, and I am the executive assistant of the team. I've been in real estate for on and off between close to 20 years. In every single role you can imagine, I've been salesperson, office manager, sales assistant, been a little bit of everything. So
I'm Sarah. I've been in real estate for 3 years. Yeah, 3. But I've really been doing it full time for the past 2 years. So. Yeah.
And I'm Deirdre. I've been only doing real estate not for very long. I feel like it's been only a couple months, but it's been under a year, so not long. I'm new, like you are. I think you're new, right, Angela?
Yes, we officially started on the 5th of August, so we're very new.
Nice.
Love it, love it. And I am obviously Julie, and I've been doing it, I guess 5 years. I always am unsure how to calculate it because for the first 6 months, I just sat there procrastinating and got into every training class I could because I was just so overwhelmed with how to begin. Like, what do you do, you know? So like in my mind, okay, I got my license in March of 18, but I didn't start to do anything until August, September that year. Yeah. Angela,
that's how I feel too.
Yeah, right. And right. And then having that like start, stop, beginning, because like I know with you, Sarah, you had tried with a couple of different mentors and that didn't really go anywhere. And so it was tough beginning for sure. Angela, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've just started. I work with my husband Martin, he's not here at the moment, he's just nipped out, but he's loitering in the background usually. We started in August. We are part of a network that have different people around the UK. We're the only people in that network where we are, which is in Lincoln, which is a really nice historic town. So we're trying to focus on period properties and sort of properties that have a bit of character rather than just general housing. We're feeling the overwhelm too, which is why we've reached out really to get some help. We do have some marketing advice from the network, but it involves a lot of things like door knocking and going back several times within quite a short time frame, and it feels quite. It's okay. I've got a little boy. I've got a 9-year-old boy. He's hovering in the background. It feels quite like a masculine approach, quite a salesman approach, which people don't really respond to. So we're just looking for sort of an alternative way of presenting ourselves, really. Real estate here is a bit like a dogfight. It's probably the same there too, but here there are no rules as to when you can approach somebody, whether they've literally just listed their house, whether they've been on the market 6 months. There's no rules. So everybody is sort of, as soon as somebody goes on the market, everybody just sort of piles in saying, look at me, if your house isn't sold, choose me. Which is really hard to compete with when you're new. And yeah, it's difficult to stand out. So we want to take a sort of softer approach so that people realize that we're not going to employ those same pressure tactics just to get someone to sign the contract with us. So
and once the contract's signed,
you can sit down if you want.
There's not specific rules necessarily in place with that either, right? Or is there?
No, people tend to, it's going out of fashion slightly now. but people are usually signed into a single agency for 12 weeks. Sometimes it goes up to 20. There is nothing to stop you from taking on another agent in that time. It's just that you would still be liable for their fees if you sold during that contract period. So anything goes, really. Obviously, it's not in the seller's best interest to sell with 2 agents at the same time, because then they have to pay that extra fee. But there's no real sense of, we're tied into these people, we're going to respect these people. But on the flip side here, there's no sense from normal traditional high street estate agents that they have to do everything in their power to get that property sold. It's very much a case of, they list with a company. The people they talk to at the beginning isn't necessarily people who do the viewings or they talk to at the end. And sometimes they will literally just take some photos on their iPhone, stick the property up on Rightmove and wait for the phone to ring. So they could spend 12 weeks doing very little for you. So although it's difficult to want to jump in when another agent's involved, there are times when we look at things and think, oh my goodness, they're not doing a good enough job. These people need extra support. They're still paying for this, admittedly probably a bit less, but the estate agents have got a portfolio of 100 properties that they're trying to sell all at the same time. They're getting commission that's either percentage based, which is about 1 or a maximum of 1.5%. The person in the office is getting a fraction of that as a bonus in his pay packet, so he's earning, I don't know, probably about 20,000 a year. So there's no real incentive for them to get on the phone and sell these houses. So it's just, as somebody coming in, it's so frustrating, because you want to help. We actually became estate agents because of our experiences and just thinking, this was awful. We don't want other people to go through this kind of process. So that's where we've come from. Mm-hmm. So we're still very much looking at how estate agents are doing things and thinking, please just somebody ask for some help from someone different, because they're getting away with an awful lot of, just because they're recognized, just getting the instruction, putting it up on the Rightmove is like our equivalent of Zillow. Mm-hmm. And then just waiting for somebody to contact them and say, I'm interested in the property.
So the high street is that like what we would consider a brokerage, and so that a high street agent gives that agent maybe a little bit more clout than someone who doesn't join high street, or no?
Yes, in as much as the high street agents have been around for decades, so they're a recognized brand name. Mm-hmm. What people don't realize is that here, you don't have to be a broker or a realtor to work in an estate agent. It's just a job. So it's the same with me. I don't actually have to have any qualifications at all to set up as an estate agent. So I'm coming into this pretty brand new. I am doing a qualification. Mm-hmm. But the application of that is difficult to get to grips with sometimes, because I'm looking for support from the beginning, because I don't want to get it wrong and sort of go 6 months down the line and think, oh, I could have done better than that. So although the people at the top of the business will have been estate agents for years and they'll know what they're doing, you can literally apply for a job, get the job, and start at the estate agent's firm the next day, and they will, I don't know, I've never worked for one, but they essentially will send you out to complete tasks that an estate agent does, to go look at houses, list houses, phone customers, but they don't necessarily have any experience or any training at all, just how that particular branch will do things.
So is that like what the customers want? Or is it just been so normalized that people don't realize that they could have a different kind of service?
It's exactly that. We've been told this is how we do it for so long that people kind of they resent paying estate agents because they see it as like a tax on selling their house. It's something you have to do in order to sell your house, but they don't like doing it because
No
the
one
service-
likes doing it, Angela, not here either.
No. No, but the service they get is so poor that
Yeah.
they kind of just think, oh, that's what happens. That's all they do. We have to pay them to do this, but it's essentially paying for something that's better than nothing in terms of getting help. So it's not what customers want. It's just they've learned to expect not a lot. And from that, we've then had the effect of estate agents trying to undercut each other in terms of fees because they say, oh, we'll do it for less. Because essentially they're not doing very much. So sadly, British homeowners are then looking for the cheapest deals because they think, well, they're not doing much anyway. We might as well not pay them very much. So it is going to be a bit of a mindset shift to pay a bit more for a better service. So yes,
So-
we're
I'm envisioning marketing that separates you from the norm. The seller's guide, did you get that in the email I had sent after our
did,
last
yes.
talk? Okay, terrific. Just let me know if you have any questions on how to manipulate that in Canva, but I know you're familiar with Canva. So something that focuses on the full service that you and your husband are going to be providing, because any listing of that specific information already is going to set you apart from the other agents.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I would have said the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think that the toughest part though is understanding what the consumers are used to and not so much changing their mind, but just showing them that difference of value. Because if they don't know to be even looking for that, it's getting in front of them and kind of showing them what they're missing out on full
Mhm.
service wise.
Yeah, definitely showing your value versus trying to sell them, because you're not going to get anywhere, and that's not going to set you apart from any of the other people.
What sort of social media marketing or any online marketing do agents usually do over there, Angela?
Normally it's not been a huge amount. It is increasing now. We are starting to do social media marketing just to try and add a bit of value to our profile so that if people do find us, they can see that we're there and trying to, do something a little bit different. We will use targeted advertising when we list properties to try and get the interest in the properties.
Such as, are you meaning like local newspapers, radio, what sort of?
Oh, I mean like Facebook ads, but
Oh, gotcha.
we'll use,
Okay,
but
got you.
we'll use like canvassing cards and open houses and sort of other things like that when we get the listing. At the moment it's a bit tricky because you don't have anything to actually show people, go look, this is available. Other companies are using social media. Most of it is some of it's blog posts, some of it's just listings, so they haven't really tapped into that really value driven kind of social media yet. Some of the blogs that you read are quite interesting, like why dropping your house price could be a good thing, and things like that. So it's sort of it's information, but we don't know how useful it actually is. So yeah, at the moment that's another thing that we can try and sort of use to our advantage to stand out.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a good idea. Instagram, Facebook. And then as you get your certification, I think that'll be really important to keep that in the forefront as well. Also in setting yourselves apart. In focusing on period homes, so far, what is your thought process in how to go after the client of those homes, whether it's listing? Well, I was about to say buyers, but I just remembered you guys don't have the whole buyer agency situation that we have here in the state. So we're kind of fortunate. Well, obviously we're fortunate in that as a brand new agent starting, we can call Zillow. You have your Rightmove, and purchase zip codes, and then we get leads from Zillow. That's literally how I began, because I didn't have kind of a sphere of local people I could draw from. And so I would get those phone calls from consumers who had tapped into Zillow and asked questions about a property. And then I could work that from a buyer agent standpoint. So I think it would be very interesting for all of us to realize and experience what you're going through, because you don't have any of that. So you just have to jump in the pond and fight the sharks for the listings. Like literally, that's where you guys are at. And I don't know what I would have done.
Crazy.
So I think the period
Yeah.
home is definitely an angle. I wouldn't necessarily not take other ones, because at the end of the
no.
day, you know,
No.
that's food on your table. But I do like that you're trying to create that niche for yourselves.
Our social media tends to be focusing on the historic parts of the city. It tends to, one of the things I'm trying to do at the moment is research the history of street names, just to, so it's sort of,
Cool.
you take a picture of the street or the street sign and say, oh, this, you know, it used to be this, or it's named after so and so, just to try and give the impression that we know the area really well. We're giving the people interesting information about the area, so it's all very focused on the history and the period sort of feel of it, but it's not that we won't take any other listings. It's just to try and have that appeal to people for whom the period market would be of interest.
Yeah.
So it's trying to niche it through the marketing without specifically saying we only deal with this, because we know that that's going to cut off a huge amount of potential customers if we say we only deal with this kind of property.
Yeah.
So it's more about trying to create that feel than it is about.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's so, like, I would just love to be in on that information, and I'm not even in the town. I'm like, oh, street names and history. That's just super cool. What a great idea you guys came up with.
Thank you.
And how are you getting that information in front of the homeowners? Is that just social media? Are you doing any mailings or anything of that nature?
At the moment, it's just social media, but I hadn't really thought about applying it elsewhere. So that's something that I could have a think about, really, definitely.
How about, so there's companies that create little door hangers. You wouldn't even necessarily have to spend money. You know, we want to try to go about this in a way where we're not attacking your wallet as you just are starting out. You could, what if you printed it at home, your history on the street, right? And then you guys go out and then you just do a hole punch and put in a little tapey thing. It goes around there to protect the hole so it doesn't rip. And then you put a rubber band through. You could then hang that on someone's doorknob, right? Sharing the history of their street.
Yep.
And just have your information on there. So you're just out the rubber band, the little hole secure thing, the piece of paper, the printing. And there's no necessarily sales stuff on there, so they might like it. Your information's on there. However, you need to legally include that on your document, because here we're in the United States, each state is different. There's things that we have to include. And so I don't know what your rules are there, but I think that would be a great way. And my goodness, you already door knocked. And so this is like that, but way low key, and maybe even something I could handle.
You get to like knock and run.
Oh, right.
We called that ding dong digit when I was
Ditch,
a little
Ditch, yeah.
kid. Something ding dong.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think of that?
No, I really like that idea. I've seen the door hanger idea. That is not something that we do over here. So again, that would be something that would instantly make people think, what's this? So yes, no, absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
I would just do it with your thought in mind, opposed to the ones that are out there, in that we want to intentionally steer away from anything that is salesy. I know they've got a lot of different techniques out there that are not salesy, and if you wanted to spend the money, there are definitely options. Like it could be a seasonal type thing, right? Fall, and then they'll have a little container and you can put goodies in it, or there's so many different ideas out there. I just was trying to come up with one that wouldn't hit your pocketbook so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And I think that people would love the idea of something that's hyper local, because then it's sort of tailored to them and personalized, and you're not mentioning real estate at all, except that you want to include your information so they do know that you are an agent.
Yeah.
And I would definitely figure out a way to direct them to, are you posting this on like a website or the Facebook page, so you can be like direct them to your specific page for more information or the whole readout.
Yeah, we're usually mostly using LinkedIn at the moment. Facebook is something that we do need to get to grips a little bit with, because it's more real time, and we think that the people that we're targeting will probably be on Facebook more than Instagram. So that's something that we're focusing on. But yes, we will have a way of linking it to other things that we do.
I will send you well, Amy, what would she look up exact on Facebook to get on Rockstar Locks? Because that might be kind of cool for her to see how we handle our Facebook. I personally love our Instagram, but but if you're not,
So,
you
yeah,
guys aren't big with it, then Facebook would work.
Facebook would be just searching Rockstar Lux
Okay.
in Facebook, and you'll find us. Lux, just remember, has an E at the end. It's interesting to hear that the difference between Instagram and Facebook over there, because it seems like more people definitely gravitate towards Facebook right now. I think it's definitely generational based as well. So I don't know how much like TikTok or anything like that people are doing over there, but that also seems to be something that's pretty big here.
Yeah, at the
YouTube.
moment, we don't use
YouTube,
TikTok
yeah.
at the moment. We have a profile, but we haven't started using it yet because we're new to it. So we are thinking of ways that we could use TikTok.
I have an idea.
Oh, yeah,
I have an idea. I'm thinking YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. You go out to the street.
Yeah.
You're going to get a picture of that street name, right? And then you're going to turn your phone and you're going to video yourself with the street name behind you and give that short blurb about the street name.
Okay.
And you just post it and you just start doing that regularly. I can see people kind of tuning in to see what else they're going to learn from you that week. And you could even branch out like on your Facebook, you could have like that. And then if you know that there's a festival on such and such street, now you could start incorporating local events, or that there's you know, a live band on such and such street this weekend. And including that in your social media, that would, I think, would be really cool.
I think
That's-
if you started doing that a lot, that'd be really cool too. If you were to ask like your followers, what street name should I do next? Kind
Oh,
of
very
Mm.
get
cool.
people
That's a good
engaged.
idea.
And then when they ask for a street name, you're already having hints of where people kind of are. And
Mhm.
then people will stay tuned to see if you actually get to cover one of the ones they've mentioned.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. Thank you.
Something I was just thinking would piggyback on that idea is kind of like a "Where's Angela" piece, where you know you go out and you kind of, you know, do a little story, you know, I'm over here in this historic section, and you know, just give a little bit of a history piece and say, who can guess where I am? I don't know, something to keep the engagement up on
Yeah.
your posts. That's big.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And, you know, I realize it's not directly real estate related, but I think what the focus right now is getting people to know, like, and trust you. And then the real estate piece will come.
Absolutely. Because we need to move away from those salesy tactics. That's what separates us in the first place. So if we follow those tactics, then we just look like everybody else, even though we do things slightly differently. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel very excited to see how this goes. So I think we all want to get connected on social media so we can be in. And see, the thing is, if we get connected on Facebook, for example, and you post something, we can share it. I get that we're not in the same area, but I just think that it could still grow itself, just the engagement. And plus, I just find it super interesting, and I would assume a lot of other people would as well.
Well, and it continues to paint the picture, right, of the fact that you are the area professional, you are the person who knows the most about area and the homes in the area. So I don't know, I just think that even anything international would be kind of cool too. Yeah, well, I could brainstorm forever on that. I could.
Well, and then right there, look at the difference between you and the other people grabbing the listings and just throwing it into the Rightmove, right?
Yeah.
I meant to look that up. I wanted to see what Rightmove looked like online. Have you
I'm
been
pulling
on
it up now.
Zillow?
I have had a quick look at Zillow, yes.
Oh, wow.
What is it called? Quick move?
Rightmove.
Right.
Rightmove?
Right move.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm just,
So you tell us a little bit about your door knocking experience.
Well, to be fair, Martin is better at it than I am. But we when we originally started, I mean, we have had quite a few where we've knocked and nobody's answered. So I've actually knocked on more than one door. It's just there were no answers at the time. So Martin is slightly more successful. We have a leaflet on 10 ways to, what is it? It's 10 ways to, well, basically it's 10 ways to get more visible with your property. So it's guidance for the homeowner to then give to their estate agent to say you could be doing this or you could be doing that, because they don't do a huge amount. so it's supposed to be sort of us helping them, and then they think, oh, well, that was really useful. We'll remember them next time. No. Sorry, just not
No.
now.
Angela, it's okay.
But I this particular
we're moms over here too, so
We get it.
I just literally saw Amy do something like this, trying to get someone to not open a door. So.
Yeah, correct.
Well, you see, Martin knocked on somebody's door on Monday, and he got quite a favourable response because it's a near neighbour who's selling and hasn't had a huge amount of success. They did have a sale, but it fell through. He went round again on the advice of one of the network people a couple of days ago, which was way too soon, and he interrupted their dinner. So they were really angry. So he's gone over to apologise. He's actually been over there for half an hour. So that's actually really good.
It's a good sign.
Quite impressive. We thought that with being a woman, people might respond more favourably to me because it's less that suited and booted kind of salesman kind of approach. But actually it backfired because I knocked on this lady's door. It said on the door to go round the back. So I was reading the note and just about to turn the corner to go round the back when the owner approached from behind me. She'd seen me standing at her door and said, hi, can I help you? And she initially looked quite interested in what I had to say. She was paying attention to me, but then her glance dropped to the piece of paper I was holding. She realized it was vaguely promotional. And she looked totally horrified that she had this woman standing at her door with promotional material. Her hands went up like this and she went, "It's all good, thank you, I don't want it." So of course I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I was just like, oh no. So yes, that was not a very pleasant experience. I sort of ran back to the car. I was like, okay, that didn't go quite as well as I'd planned.
Have you and
Oh,
Martin
dear.
gone out together door knocking, or have you done it separately?
we go out together, but we tend to do it. We're trying to alternate it. So he'd do it and then I'd do it to try and build up that courage because we're both terrified of it. Because it's bad enough when one of us knocks and nobody wants to know, but we just kind of thought if we went together, then maybe we'd look like we were ganging up on the homeowner a little bit. Like there's two people at the door trying to talk to us now. So I don't know, we might try it together just to balance it a bit maybe, but I must admit I'm not very keen to do it again because it was just so bad.
Yeah, I get that. What are you guys able to market yourself as husband and wife doing this career together, or would that be sort of frowned upon, or could it be a positive that sets you guys apart?
Yeah, no, we market it ourselves as husband and wife.
Yeah,
pretty much tend to go along the lines of we're husband and wife, we had bad experiences, we want to help other people so they don't have these experiences. It's a little bit like we thought we could do better than that, but without saying
like that.
So yeah, we that's how we do it, because we are both we're business partners. So
I like that, and you need to lead with that, and you need to be together.
yeah, okay.
I think. Anybody else?
Well,
wonder if-
I remember that. Oh, sorry, Dee.
Oh, it's all good. I was just going to say, I wonder if maybe doing a video of your story and what brought you to where you are,
Great.
maybe posting that on your Facebook or your YouTube page whenever you develop it. It might be a really nice intro for people to just understand who you guys are and that you're not trying to sell them things. You actually have a genuine reason as to why you're in the field and doing what you're doing, and why.
Yeah, we have done a couple of videos along that line, but we haven't probably put it in enough places. We probably need to adjust them slightly because some of them have gone in like real companies sort of style marketing things when you've already got market appraisals lined up and things. So yeah, I think we need to adjust it slightly and then redo it so that we can put it on social media.
And maybe as bad as it sounds, people love to tune into things that have a little bit of drama to it anyways. So it's like you can probably post some of that like a couple of times, even if you're like re-recording but telling a different part of the process that just you don't want anyone to have to experience. And you know, I don't know, like, I feel like that brings in a little bit more of traction and people understand like, yeah, this has been my experience too, or if people can really relate to that with selling properties as well. But I do remember that there's another girl on our team that she went door knocking, and she went with her husband, and they seemed to get a pretty good response when the two of them were together.
Well,
So
we'll
He
give it a
did.
go,
he was the
definitely.
brave one.
Yeah.
They also made cookies.
Yeah.
So that was like they were they're handing cookies out around the condominium complex. So
I would never take cookies from someone who showed up at my door. Like that freaks me out.
I'm not sure how it is over at the UK, but I don't think that I would either, Julie. But they had an
Mhm.
absolutely great experience with it.
Yeah, yeah. That was crazy.
I must admit, when Julie and I first talked on the sort of getting to know you call, I told her about some of the experiences we had, and you let's say you weren't very impressed with We don't have the same sort of buyer protections here, so buyers just don't get advice. They don't get professional advice. We have a bit of a belts and braces situation where if a surveyor comes and looks at a house and says it's not worth that much or there's big problems, then the buyer's got the choice to withdraw their offer. But otherwise, it is a bit of a case of you've bought it, you discover what the estate agent and the owners were hiding when they sold it to you. You find that out when you've bought it and moved in. So yeah, it's not, as somebody who's trying to sell and buy at the same time, it was a complete nightmare for us, and it wasn't the first time we'd had a less than good experience, so it definitely made us think that there was something we could do to improve it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be critical that you guys lead with your story.
Yeah.
That coupled with everything else that we've talked about, and I know you're thinking about, I think truly set you guys apart. So you just need to get out in front of your audience.
Yeah.
And social media might be a great avenue for you to begin. And finding a way to put that story on paper and
So you can come
maybe
sit down, but just need
kept
to-
at the homes, you know, through the door knocking. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Martin.
You're right.
How'd your appointment go?
Yay.
Really good, actually.
I was saying that it
Excellent.
was a bit of a bad experience the other day, so
Oh.
you went round to apologise, but you've been a while. So
It was sort of like, yes, hello. I was like, oh, hi. He said, can you come? We're just sitting down for dinner, and I was like, oh no, I've annoyed him, and he looked a little bit grumpy, and I'm like, I said, oh, is it a better time for you? It's tomorrow. Well, we're busy tomorrow. Oh no.
And next week and next month.
But we're free on Friday. Oh, okay.
at least we can
Wow.
apologise on Friday.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll see you then. Bye.
Came home and was just like,
I was
oh,
all
I've
like,
destroyed that.
I fluffed it up. It's not good. But I went back over, and it was his partner. I didn't get the nature of their relationship, whether it was
Yeah,
husband,
that's
wife, partner, and she was very chatty. She was sort of like, I explained the situation about us, and was just sort of saying, how's everything going? And she was sort of like, oh, not good. I said, have you heard anything since the weekend? Absolutely nothing. Oh, and so we were basically relating our bad experiences with moving.
It's the same estate agent as well, so
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
So, And she said the person who they signed up with now no longer deals with them. They've got somebody else. But when the market picked back in February, but when the market picked up, sort of like about April, then that person came back. But now they've gone again. Now the market's dipped, and you're just like, that's not good, you know. So yeah, I kind of explained a little bit about what we did, and I didn't sort of like say, right, when can I book you in for? It was
Yeah,
sort of
no,
Right,
we need
totally.
off to
you've got our details. If you've got like half an hour of your time, you know, we can go through what we do, and just one of the big things that she was saying was that the estate agent seems to be just getting people through the door. They're not actually telling people about the property. So because there's the two of them, they've got 3 kids and a dog.
Oh wow,
So
it's quite a small house for them, really.
yeah, so apparently the house is really big. It's just the garden's really small. But so every time that there's like a viewing or like a survey, it's like a big military operation to sort of like get everybody, get the house nice and everybody out, because they can't, because there's the 5 of them and the dog, they can't live in a house that's perpetually a show home.
Right, right.
So so it's a big military, get everything, you know, shove it all in cupboards, and then everybody out, and then the buyer, potential buyer doesn't turn up, everybody back in, and then it's the cycle over and over again. So the estate agent wasn't being honest with the viewers that it's a Victorian house. It's got no insulation. It's got no loft insulation as well. So they're getting the people in. The people are having the surveys done. They're finding out all the faults, and they're like, "Nope, I'm out." You know, like I don't know what it's called in America, but like Dragon's Den over here.
Yeah. Like a Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yeah. I'm out, you know, and they're just sort of like, but we're willing to negotiate. No, it's too much needs doing.
And you said that they've been on the market since February?
Yeah, at least.
So they've been doing this for half a year, moving your family out. Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why we went over first of all, and where we're taking the approach of people who have been on the market for a really long time. They're, you know, they are now sort of a bit more jaded as to their opinion of real estate agents. So,
but 6 months, it's sort of getting there, but that sort of that 20 weeks, which is roughly 5 months. People haven't been taught here that you can move quicker than that. You know, if you get a sale within a month, that's like, oh wow, that was really quick. 5 months is kind of like,
and it's more luck than anything
yeah,
else.
and unfortunately you're sort of used to that, and unfortunately that means when you do actually get an offer, you're just like, oh thank God we've got an offer, we have to take it, because there might not be another one. So yeah, it's hard.
So I'm wondering, the issues that the sellers are aware of that prevented any of the other deals to go through, do you think there is any chance that they're willing to correct any of those? So let's say they start working with you guys and you have that conversation with them. If they'll correct the insulation, for example, you know, that's one negative off the list for the potential purchasers.
It is something that we can approach them with and sort of like pitch it, not so much that here is a load of work that needs doing, but sorry, excuse me, William, could you pass me that, please? Can you play on the blue tablet? I think it's in the bathroom. Thank you very much.
He's ready. He's waiting to go swimming.
Sorry. He's got my mum. He's got my mum's lint.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
lint roller. So he's got like playing with it all the time. And it's like clack in my ear. So, yeah, obviously we can have that conversation with them, and the way we would sort of pitch it is, okay, we'll think of it like this. It might cost you £500 to replace the non-safety glass that's currently in your front door. But if you think that you're going to be dropping like 25,000 and that, because these are things that people are knocking you down on the price, they're going to try and knock you down even more if they think they can. So we'd obviously have a look and see if what we can fix. I'm not sure if the wall's something that is possible
No, I
because of
think
the
if it-
old construction of the house. It's like
yeah,
quite thick walls.
I think Victorian houses, you do struggle to get that sorted. So I think it's just something that you have to live with.
They don't have spray foam insulation there.
But it's just coming. It's just coming for roofs over here.
Got
But,
you.
there is cavity wall insulation, but in Victorian houses, it's like solid brick. It's solid stone all
Got
the way
you.
through.
Yeah.
So that there isn't really a cavity that they could fill with the expanding foam, unfortunately. But then we would be upfront about that rather than with what a lot of real estate agents we've seen. They just don't tell. They just don't tell you. They let you find
They
out.
hope you don't find out.
They
Yeah.
hope you don't find out. And if people are sort of like, oh, we don't need a survey, you know, we'll just go straight in, like my parents recommended we do at this place.
It's like literally, phew, they don't need a survey, right?
They don't
When
need a
they-
survey. Let them. It's their problem. They'll find it out. But you know, we want to be upfront. We want to say, look, this is how it is,
and it's priced to reflect that, rather
Yeah.
than you're asking this, but you're going to knock us down. No, we don't want to do that because
Right.
I mean, there's another company nearby that they massively inflate the prices, and then eventually you see them come down tens of thousands of pounds, and you think,
Right.
as a homeowner, you think, great, my house is worth this much money, and then it's just like you lose 40, 50, 60,000 pounds.
oh, the market's not moving. And then like the the lady who's Dave Kimberly, by the way, Kimberly was telling me that they were being pressured to drop the price even further.
Mhm.
And I said, you know, it's August, people are on holiday, you know, the market's quite slow at the moment. September, hopefully there'll be like a bounce back, you know, the kids are back at school, then a lot of people will be like, right, now I can think. Onto the moving websites and that. So yeah, they said they're being pressured to do that, and that it's kind of feels like the estate agents just want them off the books.
Yeah.
You know, just they've been hanging around for
Yeah.
ages. Just get it gone, sold.
For estate agents, most estate agents in the UK, it is a case of it doesn't matter what it sells for, we'll get something for it. So we sell it. There's no real incentive to work really hard on the part of the seller to get the best price for it.
It's because your commission split's so darn low,
Mm.
right? So they're just thinking
They're working on
quantity,
fixed
not
as well.
quality.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's become that sense of, well, we have to pay for it, so we'll pay as little as possible because we know it's going to be a bad experience.
Wow, it's just unbelievable.
Hmm.
Well, I think we definitely came up with some, you know, Martin Angela will obviously share with you after, came up with some, I think, really strong items to move forward with. Yeah, so we'd love to be kept in the loop about what you're doing with that, and I have no problem checking in with you just to just for accountability, even to make sure that you act on these great things. The sooner you act on them, the sooner your first opportunity is coming, right? And great job, Martin, going over there today.
I've been threatened. I've been sort of like threatened about it on my TikTok.
Oh, we know. We've all been there.
I told them about my experience knocking on the door and
Oh,
the lady
yeah,
being
just
horrified.
coming around the corner going. You're like, nope, not again, not doing that again. Fine. I'll go for it.
Well, I really appreciate everyone's time. Do you have any questions for us before we log off for today's session?
No, but I just wanted to say thank you for everyone to be here. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure. All right, well, we all look forward to the update. I'm gonna make sure that I'm following you on social media.
Same here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Everyone, thank you so much for being here as well today. Really appreciate it.